Good morning, students, and Jai Hind. Today, we shall throw the light on the untouchability. This is the one of the worst kind of the stigma which for the for the centuries our society is now Indian society is facing. A certain class of our society is the facing this kind of the stigma and being the subject of the humiliation or subject of exploitation and much more, even the subject of not to be the touched and the not to be the come and live together with the mainstream of the society. So this is one of the worst kind of the practice the Indian society had been has been now practicing since the ancient time. Understand? Ancient time, our society is practicing, or this untouchability is the extreme and particularly vicious aspects of the caste system. It is the vicious aspect of the this system, and this untouchability, this system prescribes a stringent, very the firm and very punitive social sanctions. Social sanctions against the members of a caste located at the lower ranks of our society, the lower at the bottom of our society. Against them, this caste system, this under our caste system, that this kind of sanction, a very punitive or a stringent sanction has been the imposed on, has been practiced against a section of the society for the centuries. They are groaning under such kind of the condition or the situation. Understand? So students, we are going to see that now this is the now practiced. What is this skills? Pollution and purity. This is the scale of practicing, who are pure or who are impure, who are polluted and who are pure and sacred. So this is the on that notion, this untouchability is being practiced in our society. The moreover, students, strictly speaking, the untouchable caste are outside the caste hierarchy. Our caste hierarchy, you know very well, that is the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishya, and the Shudras. Under this caste hierarchy, and moreover, there are so many caste and subcaste jatis on have been formed on the basis of occupation. So a very large network or the very large network of the jati system is prevailing in India. But this down what this outtouched or the untouchables are out of those networks completely. They have been the just ousted completely from the caste order. We know they have been not put and kept under the order of the caste, under the order of the our social system or in our caste system. So now here we are going to see that they are considered to be the impure and impure, that mere teach sorry their mere touch will severely pollutes the members of the other caste. Now their severely only the merely touch will now severely will make the other caste the impure, and they will be the debauched or impure they will become. And moreover, here and the first thing we have to be see that severely pollute members of the other caste, bringing terrible punishment for the former. It means that if they touch, they they would touch the other person, other caste members, so then they will be the liable for a severe punishment. Used to be the given, they have been the given the severe punishment. And moreover, and the former, now the forcing latter perform the elaborate purification rituals. And if that means, it means that if the untouchables touch anyone from belonging to the any caste, so then at this what will be the, so they will be the subject to be the punishment. A severe punishments will be the awarded to them. And on the other hand, the caste, the person who belong to the any caste, he will have to be the perform the elaborate purification rituals. He will have to be the purify himself or herself. So this kind of the practice was practiced in the untouchability. And moreover, in fact, now the notions of distance, now pollution, notion of the distance pollution, and it was particularly prevalent in southern India. It was the more severe. We can see that distant pollution, even what their thoughts were, notion was that now such that even the mere presence or the shadow of the untouchables, only the shadow or mere their presence would pollute the person considered the polluting. Understand? Even severe, if you they will see them. Understand? Or whether their shadow will fall on the person belonging to the other caste, they will be the impure. So now in the southern India, the pollution range is the quite different. In morning, the level of pollution will be the different. In the afternoon, according to the sun, the afternoon, according to the shadow. In the morning, the pollution's range will be the very high. The pollution degree of pollution will be the very high. In the afternoon, the pollution's level will be the very low. And in the evening, that will be the when the sun falls obliquely. Understand? And the shadow becomes the more stressed and the longer, so then that will be the much polluted. What a sense they had been the carrying in their minds against the a particular caste or the group. We can see here. And the moreover, here, the provision of that, despite the limited, the avoidance of the provision of the physical contact, but to a much broader set of social sanction. Not only the physical touch was the punishable, but more and more sanction had been imposed upon their movements by our social system, by our caste system. More sanctions had been imposed upon them. Sanction. Sanction. It is the restriction, maybe the positive or negative. But the sanction which had been imposed upon the untouchables, upon the this lower caste, the sanction had been this was the very negative sense had been more. The sanctions say now it is an important emphasis that three main dimensions of their untouchability is the here. Three main dimension. We know very well. Namely the exclusion. Exclusion, first dimension. Second dimension is the humiliation subordination. Humiliation, subordination, humiliation, subordination, and last is the exploitation. Exploitation. So these were the the important emphasis were laid upon these things. Now are all equally important in defining the phenomena when these are exclusion, humiliation, subordination, exploitation. Understand? These are the very important when we go to the explain here the first or other. Although low caste are also subjected to the subordination. First, lower caste we are subject to the subordination. Here is a very crisscross thing here. We know the touch they are they were allowed. It was not that certain castes were not allowed at all. They had the two categories. One lower caste categories were allowed in the society for the work, and even with a little distance, but the work should be the now work should be the go on. They should have their requirement according to the requirement. They were allowed, not requirement not allowed, or not allowed everywhere. Somewhere where they had to work, they had to be the allowed. Where they had no work, not allowed. So here we are looking that there are the two kinds of the this kind of the untouchability, two kinds of the behave low caste are also subjected to the subordination and exploitation to some degree. They don't suffer the extreme form of exclusion reserved for untouchables. So low caste, understand? Now they were the subject of the exclusion or the exploitation. Subject. They were the low. There were two categories. One caste, low caste, was excluded some extent and exploited. But these second untouchables are where now we have different forms of that. How what the extreme form of exclusion reserved for untouchable. The extreme form of exclusion, it means that they were completely not allowed at all within the society. Understand? But other low caste, they were allowed in society with exclusion in certain respect, in certain terms. They were excluded, but included in society for the interest of the work of the upper classes. This is the problems now existing in our society. And the moreover, we can see that the sources, other groups, instances, or that are unique and not the practice. Here we can see Dalit experience form of exclusion that are unique and not practiced against other groups. Other groups, for example, being prohibited from sharing drinking water sources or participating in collective religious worship, social ceremonies, on festivals. Dalit were also excluded from not drinking water sources. They were excluded from there. Moreover, prohibited from the sharing the drinking water, participating in collective religious worship, where the Dalit was excluded. Parting. And moreover, and the social ceremonies which happened and the festivals where the Dalit were not allowed at all. So here we are looking that at the same time untouchability may also involve forced inclusion. Sometimes forced inclusion. Why? Why the forced inclusion? Now the beating the such as subordinated role in a subordinated role, such as being compelled to play the drums at the religious events. At the religious events, they were forcibly included. When the any ceremony happens, the marriage ceremony, we can observe in the villages even that who the just be, who beats the drum at the threshold of the door. You can see sitting someone is there and some he or she may beating the drum in the villages. That who is that? You ask them. They are the force included Dalits. They are forcibly included, and they beat the drums there, and included being compelled to play the drums and religious events. The performance of publicly visible acts, the self humiliation and subordinations is important part of the practice of untouchability. Self humiliation and subordination. Subordinations is a one of the part of the this kind of the untouchability practice of untouchability. Common instances include imposition of gesture of the difference, such as taking off headwear. Common features the untouchables now carried with them. They had to carry they had to carry with them the common features that was prescribed by our social system. The among these common features, taking off the headgear gear before the masters, carrying the footwear in their hands whenever they come before the society, carrying the footwears in their hands. Moreover, standing with the bowed head, they have they they have to nod their head before the other caste, and moreover, not wearing the clean or bright clothes. They have not to be the put on the clean and bright clothes at all. It was the prohibited and forbidden for them in the society, and or moreover, clean or bright clothes, and so on, as well as routinized abuse and humiliation. Now, abusive language uh, was spoken against them, spoken to them, humiliating, and the humiliation. This was a common trend of the society. Politically, socialism. Moreover, untouchables is almost and if you see the untouchables are where almost almost always associated with the economic exploitation. Economic exploitations they were subject to be that. It was the common for them. Various kinds of the exploitations they had to be the face in the society, and more, most commonly through imposition of forced imposition. Now we can you can have heard the Begar system. They were the subject, the victim of the Begar system. What is the Begar? Begar is the work which is taken without the paying, without the paying any just paying the wages and forcibly taken the work. This is kind of the Begar. So this was the hugely prevalent or immensely prevalent in the earlier periods. Understand, the Begar was taken, and moreover, forced. Now, imposition of forced labor, forced work, and moreover, they had been the subject of underpaid labor. Means, if the payment was given, some payment, a symbolic payment was given, underpaid, not just payment was given to the no at all, underpaid they were. So this kind of the begar was taken by them, and now the paid labor confiscating confiscation of their property. The whenever any violations on behalf, any violation was found, any denied, any denied or defiance, if they showed their defiance against these social prescription, caste prescriptions. So what happened? Now their properties were confiscated by the upper class. This kind of the system and the practice we see we are practicing in the society, and moreover, finally, untouchability is the pan-Indian phenomena, or this untouchability was not only prevalent in a certain part or the certain, no, it was prevalent. We see that all pan-Indians everywhere practice in our Indian societies, everywhere, whether the in all over the country we have the instances of this practice of this caste system, and the more and the now, although its a specific form of intensity varies region to region, although its intensity or varies region to region, area to area. That is the somewhere it was the very intensive, somewhere it was the less intensive, or the rather the easier. And more, the so-called untouchables have been the referred to a collectively many names. They are the called collectively with the many names over the centuries. We know that. Many names they are the known over the centuries, and whatever the specific etymology etymology of these names, they are all derogatory. They are insulting. We can say that their etymological etymology used for their name was derogatory. Derogatory. What? Or insulting, and carry a strong uh, piro, pejorative charge. A very insulting, or the pejorative charge, insultings. In fact, many of them continue to be used as a form of abuse even today. Many of their names are just used even today as the in sense of the abusive language used against them. Those which have been the named for them, if you use today, that is the equal to the abusive abuse. That is the equalize the abuse. This is the so still in some part of the our country we can hear of the lesions. This is the practice in the certain parts of our country, and now we can see that in fact this continued to be the every, although their use is now a criminal offense, although according that when our country became independent, got achieved independence, so then after these terms have been the now declared as a declared as a illegal, or declared as a punishable. If someone uses this kind of the terms against the Dalits or anyone, so now he or she will be the subject to the punishment and liable for the punishment. So this so constitutionally this untouchability has been the eradicated, or now, or this had been the for making more effective untouchability eradication more effective. Okay, so now the it has been the made punishable by the Constitution of India. Understand? This is the more punishable. So we see that now Gandhiji now termed them. That is why Gandhiji to give the respects to this now Dalit, he named him them the as a Harijan, son of God. Why? To give them just respect in the society. Gandhiji now used this. Or now, X untouchable communities and their leaders have coined in other terms Dalit. Many of the leaders belonging to this community, they have now coined the new term Dalit. And this or we now generally accepted terms referring to these groups. This is the accepted terms by all over the India or even the and in Indian language the term Dalit literally means downtrodden. Dalit means downtrodden. Understand? Or the depressed, downtrodden, and moreover and conveys the sense of an oppressed people. Or this its meaning is the sense it says that oppressed people. Dalit means the oppressed people. Their sense is that. And moreover, literary means the downtrodden or the oppressed people, though it is neither coined by Bhimrao Ambedkar had not coined this term. Understand? And the more the or frequently used by him, term certainly resonates with his philosophy and these terms resonate with his philosophy depressed class that is the rather very resembling the sense is here and a movement in power of them he led for empowerment of the Dalit the many movements was led or it received the wide currency during the caste riots in Mumbai in 1970s the caste riots occurred in Mumbai so this term, the Dalit, was now this was the currency, Dalit white currency. This received the white currency during the caste riots. Got the very important the Dalit term got there. And the Dalit Panthers Party. Now the Dalit Panthers, a radical group. This is the very radical. And now that emerged in the Western India during that time. Panthers Party, which was the radical Dalits, aggressive and believe in the violence and like that. Understand? So this radical term, Panthers Party, emerged after these riots. Just a caste riots which happened in Mumbai, and with the term they assert their identity. And they Dalit they use this term very broadly or accepted as a mark of their unity, as a mark of their political strength, as a political as a mark of getting the political power Dalit, as a mark of getting the political concessions from the Indian constitutions. So they now emphasize the Dalit term or this assert their identity as a mark of their identity, strong presence of their identity in the politics arena of politics or in the social field and other struggle for and they are still the in the their movements are in progress still for getting the more rights and now getting the dignity in the society making the place for dignity in the society still the movements is going on the students I suppose that you would have understand and in the box of your NCRT books have been the given from the South India it now South India belonging to the South India incidents how the Dalits and the untouchables had to carry the dirts of the people. Understand? So that instance will speaks a lot to you. Understand? If you go through that, and you should you must go through that the box. Okay, what am there written and what the story has been given. That is very important for you to go through that. Understand? The next topic will be taught in the next class, students, and this is the much for this. Okay. Thank you very much for attending your class today. Okay.